Hey guys, thanks for having an awesome season with us. For those that don't know me, I'm Chapman, the current president of the club. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking me about the off-season and what's going on, so I thought it's probably best I throw together a quick video to give you all an update. The last few years, we've run a drop-in style off-season for both the men's, women's, and juniors, and we've actually seen phenomenal success in the development of our athletes from these programs and built a really nice tight-knit culture of improvement. Now, with the wrap-up of 2024, we've had some time to reflect on what works, what doesn't work, along with looking into what some of the other clubs do well. My vision and goal for Northern Stars and Northshore Rockets is to develop our athletes and their love of the game. I want to be a club that is dedicated to being people first and athlete focused. Talking to the current state of the club, we have previously run a weekly off-season drop-in session that runs from about September to February. We trial in late January for the season and don't start training until about late February. Now, although we try our best to plan everything out, this model does face some challenges. The first challenge is around trials. We cover a lot of area in the northern suburbs, and last year we had over 70 women and 140 men trial for our club. Can you imagine trying to accurately grade all those people in a few sessions of volleyball across 2 courts? Yeah, it's really hard to get right, and as much as we try to mitigate some of that by splitting up the sessions, making sure we have enough volunteer coaches, we don't always get it right. The second challenge is around uncertainty for our athletes. When we proceed with a trial format and we're giving team offers afterwards, players may not accept their offer or even get back to us. This means we need to allow for some time for movements between teams as people secure their spots. This is something I've never really liked. I personally feel bad whenever someone who's been loyal to our club and worked hard in the off-season obtains a lower offer and then is moved higher due to someone else club shopping. The third challenge we face is around team movement. We've always loved the idea of moving players around teams as they perform and improve throughout the season. However, the reality is this isn't really feasible. With the preseason starting so late and potentially only 3 to 6 weeks of training until your first match, the priority needs to be on team cohesion, and we can't really measure up how you compare to other teams on different nights. This leads us to our fourth challenge, which is around coaches and their capacity. We've spent a lot of work over the last few years establishing the right people in coaching roles and elevating our quality of coaching, which I'm actually extremely proud of. I think it's one of the defining factors for our club compared to others. However, a lot of these coaches are typically learning from what they've heard or experienced, and they're not always supported once the season starts, since everyone is full steam ahead. Lastly, uniforms. Uniforms is always a struggle. Since we're confirming teams so late and our uniform supplier turnaround is generally quite long, we have a lot of teams that start the season without uniforms and having to resort to things like tape or even spray painted t-shirts. Now, all these challenges are a major pain point for our players and our volunteer committee, but they're not unique to our club. These are issues faced by the majority of Volleyball clubs. Getting into off-season, we've seen huge interest and growth since I implemented it 3 years ago. If you look at the men's side, I say a good amount of their success has been directly tied to the off-season. Did you know that our current Division 1 men's team who finished 5th and our Division 2 men's teams who won a gold and bronze medal are primarily built of Divisions 4 to 6 players from 3 years ago? How often do you see that kind of individual growth and success? These players who have stayed with the club and invested in themselves to jump multiple divisions and be competitive. Did you also know that in 2024, the majority of our teams finished in finals or 5th? This is despite all the challenges we face with our current model. So with all these challenges in the current model, what can we do about it? Well, we'll be implementing a new structure that we've seen other clubs have a lot of success with, and this is a format that we want to take and improve on to make our own. Our off-season structure will run for 9 weeks, starting the week of the 14th of October. The format will be squad-based for 1 hour and 45-minute time slots, with men's on Thursdays and Fridays, and women's on Mondays. Each squad should contain about 30 players or 3 teams, and will be coached by the team's coaches in season. Throughout these sessions, we will be prioritizing the development of our athletes and the overall play style of the club. This will be done by ensuring that each squad is run by the relevant coaches of the division, with a head coach there mentoring and coaching the coaches. With the utilization of squads, we'll also be able to view all players in a group mixed together. This will allow us to have a more accurate grading and view of the players over 10 weeks rather than the 1 to 3 sessions. This way we can move our players between squads as they progress. Another prime benefit of this format is that we will be able to target some positional specific training and knowledge that sometimes you can't obtain in season due to limited court space or conflicting priorities. We'll also be able to better provide development for athletes by looking at promising athletes to attend multiple squads where we think it'll benefit them. Throughout this period, we will also be able to reward our coaches for their time spent learning and coaching. And at the end of this off-season, we'll be able to provide you a view of what division we think you're currently performing at based on how everyone else is going, which will be a much more accurate grading than what we've had previously. Once we enter 2025, we'll run our preseason. This will follow a similar format, however it will be 10 weeks from early January, and the preseason is focused on confirming our teams for the 2025 season, and it'll be done within the first few weeks. If you're unable to attend the off-season though, don't worry, you'll still get your offer to preseason. However, do keep in mind that players who have attended off-season, including external expressions, will have likely improved, and we have seen them all. This does mean that your offer may not accurately reflect your current skill, and you may be moved lower during the preseason depending on your performance. So, while this format sounds great and helps us address a lot of our challenges, we want to be transparent with you and let you know that it's not without its own disadvantages. First call out is that your initial squad offer may not be accurate, as we're basing this off of 2024. Because we haven't had a chance to accurately look at you since the season's gone on, this is why we've made that decision. Our second call out is if you're placed at a higher level, but you're not performing against your peers, you may be asked to drop a squad. This is something that hasn't really happened in the past, so the movement could be quite disruptive to individuals, especially if you're not mentally prepared for it. Now, the last call out that may be a disadvantage for some will be that you need to commit upfront to the whole off-season and preseason. These will not be offered in a drop-in format. For those that may have rostered work such as FIFO, reach out to us and we can assess on a case-by-case basis on what we can do for you. Now, with all that presented to you, if you're still interested in being a part of this experience, then please utilize the Google form that was sent to you, deposit your payment to confirm your spot. I've also created a video here on how to best utilize your off-season so you can be effective with your time and prepare for next year. Now, if you're not interested in this, that's okay, no hard feelings. I understand this is a drastic change and not everyone will agree with it. At the end of the day, we're constantly trying to learn and improve. However, my vision is that we build a strong culture of improvement and elevate the experience for all those in the club. Now, I'm sure you also have some questions, so there is an FAQ in the off-season response Google form that was emailed to you. And if there's anything we haven't covered there, feel free to reach out to us on social media, through email, or even submit your suggestions and feedback through the form in the description. Until then though, I hope to see you as a part of our club and join us on this journey of growth. Yes, stars.